Good morning. It's August the 29th, 2017, and 2 days before the month ends. Man, time does fly, doesn't it? We'll start with our disclaimer. Hypothetical simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, North Korea has done it again. They fired a missile over Japan's territory, splashed down east of the northern island, and equities around the globe outside of China's markets are well off. Gold, the treasuries and the euro are higher because of that. Now, my guess is that the high is probably in. What will the U.S. do? That's the big question mark. South Korea has emergency meeting as Japan. South Korea is going to do a major military exercise to show North Korea they can't win. North Korea knows they can't win this war. They're trying to negotiate and get the best thing they do. So the issue really becomes, what will China do? And so far, China has basically said, if North Korea fires first, they won't support them. And that's all that they've done. They could do more, but they haven't done it. So what will the U.S. and China figure out? What will the U.S. do to China as far as sanctions go? The thing that would cripple China would be attacking their banking system through their currency. And I don't know if the U.S. is prepared to do that. So I don't think war starts over this. I think there's probably a pretty good chance that the high is in treasuries, in gold for the day, unless the E-mini just craters this morning and heads lower. So we add that to look with. Case-Shiller, real estate prices up 0.3. Consumer confidence 120.6, could come in a little lower than forecast. And the direction of the E-mini, I think, will drive our trading in treasuries. So I think we're here. 16 to 20 is where resistance is, so we'll make 16 to 20, sell 1. 23.27, sell 2. On the buy side, 5 to 9, play for a trading range. Put a question mark at 13. And then 29 to 01 for buy 2. Like the long side first, but I do believe the high is in without some help from the E-mini today or another piece of news out of North Korea, whatever we're going to do. So there'll be a hesitancy to set shorts until we know what Japan's and South Korea's reaction to this are going to be. If I were the United States, I would, Japan would probably go along with it. It's one way to get back at China, is that I would allow the South Korea and Japan to become nuclear powers. That would certainly change China's ability to do anything in that part of the world. And think about it. What did China do with India yesterday? They decided to back off their border clashes. They've been talking about invasion and taking their country back and all the rest of this. And literally with sticks and stones and fists, Indian and Chinese soldiers fought it out. And then because India is a nuclear power, guess who blinked first? China. Again, making Japan and South Korea nuclear powers would certainly hold China in check. Looking at the 30-year, 28 to the buck, 1, 3 to 7, sell 1, 11 to 15, sell 2. On the buy side, number one support will be 16 to 20, 9 to 13 buy 1, 1 to 5 buy 2. Have the 7-year auction day. I don't know if it'll be as good as the 5-year. Good auction, bad auction, good auction is the way. So normally the 2 years the good auction, the 5 years the bad auction, and the 7 years the good auction. But yesterday, 2-year bad auction, 5-year good auction. So that may limit the upside for the 7-year. But given what's going on with Korea and the rest of it, prices are going to be higher, like it or not. And for those that time the bond market, fixed income managers are interested in yield, and they have ladders of maturity. And when they have funds that are available, they go out and find the best interest rate they can for those funds with the acceptable quality levels. And it's not much more complicated than that. They've got to deliver income, and the highest coupon does that for them. And so a lot of people, we're going to time the bond market, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. If a fixed income manager is going to time the bond market, well, the way he'll time it, the way he'll play it is that he'll shorten his duration or lengthen the duration of the portfolio. He won't, he has to be invested, and he has to be invested in certain securities. So we always think, the bottom's going to fall out of the bond market. Nobody's going to buy bonds until, prices get to this level. That's not, they'll buy bonds when they have the money to buy. There's usually a 30-day window associated with it. So it's never as bad as it seems for treasuries. It's not like the stock market where you're really interested in appreciation as opposed to the dividend rate. Okay, looking at gold, we said 1330, 1327 was the attractor, and that's where we are. So 30 to 32 is sell 1. 35, 37 is sell 2. Good chance the high is in unless we get some help from the E-mini. Got this gap to close right down here. 25, 23 will be buy 1. 18 to 20 will close the gap, will be buy 2. Why do I think the high might be in without some help from the E-mini or another piece of news out of North Korea? The overnight markets will quickly move to where somebody's actually willing to sell in a lower liquidity environment. And that tends to put the top or bottom in unless you get follow-through news the next day, or unless you're coming off a major high or a major low. So quite often we go, oh my God, the market is strong, can't be a seller. Yeah, you can if you get a retest of resistance, and it does hold. Learned that the hard way over the years. The thing that's absolutely amazing about trading futures is that we all get into this game thinking and knowing that we're going to make mistakes, but we're going to learn from them. And each time we learn from that particular mistake, it won't happen again. The problem is it always happens. It happens again and again and again and again. And it's really hard to accept that you can make the same mistake over and over and over again, but we do. It is a fact of life. Okay, we're going to have support. We got the London low at 23, then at 35, then we have this low at 45. So 35, 45 by 1. And the breakout came from 20. We'll make 20, 20, 10 by 2. Get to go out a little bit later and see if we trapped a skunk last night. My friend that has more experience with this than I do, and whose traps I borrowed, said fried chicken was the answer. So I bought that little guy. Probably not so little, judging by the amount of spray that he threw. Chicken wings last night, so we'll see if he actually chowed down. Henry did get a little skunk on his muzzle, so I've got to clean that up this afternoon. And the formula for getting rid of a skunk is simple. It's hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and Dawn or some sort of dishwashing detergent. Soap it in, let it soak for about 5 minutes, and it will change the color of the fur. Best to do it on a white dog. You'll get rid of almost all of the smell. Crude. We're at 46.57, so 46.75, 47, just where we were last night. Sell 1, 47 1/4, 47.50, sell 2. On the buy side, we'll make it 46 even, 46 1/4. That's a little bit lower than where we are right now. Might take a 50 to get in. We'll play for lower. And looks like the storm is moving out of the area now. Looks like there's enough upper level guidance that the storm has a place to go. And maybe I will start to get damage reports, or that things weren't so bad and that they can relight those refineries. But right now, again, you can't run the high temperatures at these refineries if you've got water all over the ground. So a lot of it's going to be what's the expected flood. And I don't think, if the storm were to quit today and there's no more rain in and around Houston, it'd probably be 5 to 7 days before it peaked. If floods in Texas are like they are other places. We have big flooding going on north of us, up Kansas City. And they get their flood, everything starts to recede and go down, and they get another ton of rain, another big dump. So, and I always like, oh yeah, we're going to control Mother Nature. Right, just tell me how you're going to do that. Oh, well, we'll do this, we'll do that. It's just comic, except for the tragedies that occur from that type of thinking, to think that you can get out and control anything that Mother Nature throws your way, other than digging a big hole in the ground and hiding. Maybe that's the solution. Well, I'll get waterproof holes with breathing tubes and stock food in it. Okay, we got down to 20.21 and we held. We've got the gap right up here at 36. We got a P in the overnight, so we got some short covering, but it's going to be down to the news today. So 34, 36, sell 1, 39.41, sell 2. I don't think Japan and South Korea will do a heck of a lot more other than quietly be prepared to go to war. And I don't know how you do that with Seoul up there. I mean, the military solutions are pretty slim and next to none when you look at South Korea. I mean, if war does start, Seoul's going to go down. So selling 34s to 36s, closing the gap up here, right there. That would be a great play. Getting short at 35.75, 36 structurally. See what happens. You'll have the chart boys with you. Looks like again that there's pretty good buying, 24.15 to 20, just where it was before. And right now we probably have a seller 35 to 40. Okay, we'll take a while to get stuff up and going this morning. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible.